Lex Green, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me, and congratulations on your January Spotlight of the Month.
Thank you so much, and it's a pleasure.
It's wonderful to have you.
Here.
We're glad to have you a part of this team. You exude such great energy, and that's even just from afar, even from a Zoom or Teams, I can just sense just a wonderful spirit about you.
You compliment me, you're gonna make me blush.
Can you tell me what you felt when you got the news that...
I was surprised. I was like, because I saw your email. Oh, because I see sometimes you do like the marketing emails company-wide. I was like, oh, an email. And I went and clicked on it. I was like, congratulations. And I was like, congratulations. And I was going through it and I was like, this is so nice.
Tell me, how long have you been with Edafio and what's your role?
Tomorrow will be my 4th month working at Edafio.
Wow, happy anniversary.
Yeah, I'm excited. And what I do at Edafio is I'm the on-site person at Access. So I work here every day. It was really funny how I got to Access, actually, because you know how they had like people on the knock just like coming every day of the week.
Yeah.
But it was sometimes different people, or it was like 2 people one day. I was in my like 2nd week of training at Edafio with Derek, and he's like, hey, do you want to head over there and just like learn from Amanda from one day? And I was like, yeah. On that Monday, he was like, hey, how do you feel about Access? And I was like, I like it. It's really neat. It's a very fun place. And he was like, how do you feel about being here all the time, every day? And I was like, yeah, that would be cool. And then my schedule just changed.
Yeah, so that's your primary client then, honestly. You don't have to service anybody else. They have the point of contact is you. And if anything becomes escalated to another higher level, then you bring in your team. So you are that main person. I think that's great.
I wanted to be a poet or a teacher or like do like civil public service, that kind of stuff. Because I really like helping people and giving back to like community and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
I was like, I want to help people like me. Something about me is that I pick up and drop hobbies a lot because I get bored really quickly of things. I'm really good at visualizing things in my head and then unraveling it from there. So that's why I really like to do that kind of stuff. So technology to me has always been kind of like the background, like it's a fun puzzle. And then I was like, well, what if I made this into my career?
So then how did you go about, like, because I think that what you're speaking to is that not everybody needs to go to school in order to find their path, that you can do a vocation, you can learn on your own. I think that's becoming more relevant and prevalent as we evolve as human. Like there are other options out there. If there were individuals out there that are looking to re-career or that are in your shoes where college isn't the right thing, how would one go about it, do you suggest?
Oh, mine was kind of a weird thing where I went to Hendrix for a semester. But when I was going to Hendrix, I was working at the help desk, and plus I need money. So I was doing that. When I stopped going to Hendrix, I was like, I don't want to work normal retail. I don't want to work fast food. But I actually saw an opening at the Geek Squad from Best Buy. So 3 years into that, I'm like, I have learned everything I can from this. I started working there when I was 19, so it was almost 3 years.
What's the best career lesson or the most impactful career lesson that you've learned so far? Do you have one that you can talk to us about?
I've kind of just like re-fundamentalized a lot of the things that I believe. There's always like, I always have more stuff to learn. Like I came out of Best Buy, right? Confident, self-assured. I know technology. And then I come to Edafio and I realize that I'm good at the casual consumer side of technology. I'm pretty good at that. I'm not the best, but I'm pretty good at that. Business side is a completely different thing. And I think the biggest takeaway from that is there's always going to be more stuff to learn. Even if you're self-assured, even if you have a good base, just to remember that technology changes every single day, and I'm just excited to learn every day.
Which is a great environment to be in, where you're never stagnant. There's always something that you can learn every day. I mean, talk about neuroplasticity. You're constantly finding new ways to strengthen the brain, and
Yeah.
what better way to live than that, to always feel that there's opportunity for advancement and growth.
I'm excited for the future.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things is I'm super excited because I've always loved learning, always have.
My mantra is work in progress has been always mine, that there's always something we can do to improve.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's for the better, but sometimes it's two steps back and then we reroute, but we figure out a new method and path, and we are always better for it. So,
Mine is
yeah.
it'll be a new day tomorrow because there's some days I like to the idea of like when I go to sleep, tomorrow will be a new day. No matter how much sleep I get, no matter how frustrating yesterday was, the next day I wake up and I'm like, it's a new day. It's a new day today.
You've already mentioned a little bit about what you would do if you weren't doing this, but would you still agree maybe you would be a teacher or a poet? Is that still on?
I don't know if I got a little disillusioned with everything of being a teacher. I went to 4 different high schools, and the one I ended at was Conway High. And one of the teachers there, I'm going to put her on shout out real quick. Her name's Crystal Certain. She has a little food pantry to help food insecurity, and she has it in her classroom. Yeah, she gets donations. She pays for stuff. She does toiletries, snacks, sometimes meals for students. The whole thing is like anybody can come in and take what they want, but it's like people who are food insecure are often ashamed of that. So like her whole basis of this was just fantastic. They were like, "Hey, you can't have students getting food between these times because then they might not buy school lunch or buy breakfast." And that bothered me because I was like, what about the students who can't afford lunch and breakfast? And the times that they had set it up, it was in a way that it was like students who are poor who ride the bus could not get there early enough to get the stuff, or the bus would leave too early for them to get food at the end of the day. And I was just upset by this because I was like,
Yeah, there's a lot of red tape that you have to fight through, and that's evident in especially government, state funded. Yeah.
you have this idea, and you're getting donations from other places and you're doing this for students, but you can't. And I was just like, I got so like, I guess mad at that that I was like, why would I want to be a teacher if I can't help out people the way I want to? So I kind of like full tilt the other direction. That's why I kind of went, because it's technology is fun for me. My plan was just like, hey, eventually I'll get to a point where I can help people the way I want to. I'll make enough money. I'll be in a stable enough place where I'm like, I'm going to help people however I want to, and there's no one that can stop me.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I'm really excited to work for Edafio, because I was like, you know what, if I'm going to go heads in on this, and you guys donate, like that kind of stuff. And I was like, that's awesome. I didn't know you guys did that. I think in my spare time, what I'll do instead of like doing like the, I guess, life of service that I wanted to do, that I'll just make enough money that I can just do whatever I want to help people.
Yeah, there's always another path, and people always comment about what's your passion and follow your passion and make that be your life goal to do what you're passionate about, but it's not really realistic. Like if you could find ways to incorporate your passion into your life in any way that you can. It doesn't have to be your 40-hour work week job, but there's ways that you can put in a little bit of your special spark into anything and everything that you can possibly do. It's really, that's, I think, what they mean, or what we can say about our passion.
I like to change how I view things. So like working in technology, I'm like, I'm still helping people.
Yeah.
Like access, like I still help people every single day solve problems. And they're important problems for even down to the smallest thing.
Absolutely.
So change your worldview a little bit, even if you're not like directly like giving food to people or being that person that they go to rely on. Help people that way.
It's a Mr. Rogers kind of mentality, Be a helper.
Yeah.
It's great to be a helper. So speaking of, you crochet frogs. So is that something you do when you're not working?
That is, again, I do a lot of things. That was just, I saw a YouTube tutorial on how to crochet frogs, and the frog was super cute. So I counted the stitches that they did, and I just started doing it. Roommates, I'm making them for my roommates right now. I'm doing them in their favorite colors. Just to pick up and do while I'm like watching something or like reading something. I'm currently listening to the final Lord of the Rings book. 20-year anniversary was not this weekend, but the one before that. So I was
My
geeking
son's
out.
favorite. What's one fun fact about you that nobody knows?
I actually wrote down that I have a twin sister because that's what I used to do in high school, like the icebreakers, like, what's something cool about you? I'm like, oh, I have a twin. We look nothing alike. She's actually sitting behind me. My sister is 6 feet tall. My twin sister is 6 inches, a half a foot taller than me. I am the shortest person in our family. I'm 5'6". My mom was 5'10". My dad was 6'6". I think the funniest thing about the two of us is that we have the exact same voice and mannerisms when we speak. So you can't really tell the difference, like when we're talking.
Wow.
Like if you're not looking at us, you would think one of us is the other one.
Right.
And that's so funny
That's
because we look nothing alike. She's a very outgoing person. I'm kind of more of a recluse kind of thing, which I try not to be. Like in social settings, I try to be out there and having fun, and I do like making friends, but she's just really charismatic.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool.
Do you have a favorite place in the world?
And this is gonna sound really like soft, but like probably home. Like any place that feels like home. Like, I love going over to Zach and Summer's house because we go over there and we play board games because they have just like a really homey place to live, and it's really relaxing. And I spend energy when I'm with people. Some people like get energy back, and it depends on who I'm with. So if I'm with Zach and Summer, it doesn't feel like I'm spending energy to be with them. It feels like I'm getting energy back.
Yes, I completely can resonate with that.
That's part of the reason I kind of really like working at Edafio is because like some days when Zach's on Little Rock, he's like, hey, you want to go to lunch? And we just get to eat lunch together.
Yeah. So if you could meet anybody in the world, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Probably Alton Brown. And you're gonna make fun of me. He's the Good Eats guy, the Food Network Good Eats guy.
Yeah.
He also I think he did Hell's Kitchen for a season or two. He always has like a really down to earth vibe, and he likes to talk about the science of food as well as just like what makes food good and how to get good food. And he's also just like, I've seen some of his interviews, and he just seems like a really chill person to have a conversation with. So I was like, yeah, if there's anybody, I guess it would be Alton Brown because it's just
great.
I feel like it wouldn't be a draining conversation. It's not like a fanfare. Oh my god, it would just be like, hiya.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Really legit stories about the food we eat and has some knowledge about it, which we all could use and benefit from, right? I feel.
Yeah. Each Good Eats episode is like a kind of like a process of XYZ things. So it could be the chocolate chip cookie. What makes the chocolate chip cookie good? And then it teaches you how to make it in the way that science says is best.
Ooh, my mom would love that too.
The way the heart says is best. He does the whole nine. He's fantastic.
If we had to give you 3 words that would best describe Lex, what would they be?
Perseverant, patient. I like to say that I'm patient. I get frustrated, but I would like to say that I'm patient. And one thing that I'm trying to work on to like for other people and for me to describe myself as is, I guess, kind. That's my number one, is that I want to be known as a kind person, kind to myself and to others, just because I think that's something that's really important. Because you can always be kinder, I think.
Yeah, my daughter has that as her New Year's resolution, is to be more kind. She said, Mom, I did not realize how hard it was sometimes. So it's teaching her restraint at times, like
patient.
Step back and know, like, is it necessary to say that? Is it helpful? Just pause and think about that stuff first. What is one thing that you can't live without?
So I'm Gen Z, or not Gen Z, Gen A. No, I am Gen Z.
I think you're Gen Z.
After millennials. I'm the one after millennials. So I'm going to go ahead and say my phone. I'm going to probably do the whole, like, yeah, I need my phone.
So I have one final question. You kind of based or touched on it a little bit at the beginning, because we always tend to do that, but everybody at Edafio has a story of what brought them to this company. Mm-hmm. Can you share a little bit about yours with us?
Yeah. Really brought me to the company was Zach. He works here, and he had just a lot of good things to say about Edafio. And more than that, I really wanted to be able to learn things and to be in a good environment to learn things, like where you're encouraged to do it. Before I applied, I went on y'all's website.
Yeah.
And I was actually reading through all of the stuff, the company mottos, what the employees had to say, what the clients had to say. I did all of that, and maybe I'm a little weird for doing that.
I hope you're not weird. I hope everybody does that.
But I just really found it, I was like, this seems like a really good place for me. So I did all of that, and then I went through my interview in January, and I didn't get hired, and that's okay. That's all right. You guys got me in the end. That's all that matters. And I got you guys in the end. So, when I was doing the interviews and stuff, talking to Amy and her personality and just being like, hey, good morning. Welcome to this interview. And I was like, hi, how are you? It really just shows the kind of people that you're going to be working with and working for. Because, I'll be honest, if I had, I wouldn't have not worked here because I had other reasons why I wanted to work for Edafio too. But, if Amy had just been just that kind of attitude, kind of attitude. But it's you get immediately from Edafio's this really happy, hey,
sincere and authentic person that's staring back at you saying, we want you to work here because you belong here. And yeah.
So I think that's my big story about working for Edafio is I was just really lured in by the idea and the want to be in this kind of environment.
That's beautiful. Well, it's been such a pleasure talking to you, Lex. I can't wait to see you face to face.
Of course, you have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye.